dive into some of the 5 platforms that have worked for me, that have helped me support me into me building my business and securing $13,000 within my first 6 months of my business. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my page. My name is Romellus Wilson. I am grateful for you to be here. If you are new or returning, thank you for coming back to this space. Today's video is going to be a little bit different and kind of a little bit more so unique to my journey as of late over this past year. If you don't know, I've started a business and I launched a business about a year ago, Elephant Stories Consulting. And this business is focused on project management, program management, and business consulting for businesses. Since the inception and the launch of the business, within the first 6 months, I ended up making $13,000. And I'm making this video because when you're suddenly laid off from your job, you have to kind of come up with a lot of different ways to kind of figure out how you're going to make ends meet, how you're going to secure income, and what platforms are out there. And I, like many other people, ended up jumping into survival mode and ended up jumping into these different research and these different platforms to try to find content that was actually going to work for me and support my personal journey specifically for me. Like many other people, went on YouTube, research, found all these different platforms, found all the different YouTube thumbnails that say, oh, make $500 a day by doing this or using this platform or using that. And what I found out was using a lot of those platforms, following a lot of these systems, a lot of these things, there was always catches to them. There was always something else that they needed to do. It was always about either making money for the person who was promoting the video or promoting the product in said video. So today's going to be a little bit different because there is no promotion for any of these products that I'm going to be offering. There's no kickback from me. I'm not some huge influencer. I'm none of those things. I'm just somebody who happened to be laid off from their job in November of 2022 and understood what it was like to find their own way and understood what it was like to financially need and have to figure out how to make ends meet when you didn't really have other sources or incomes. So that's the reason for this video. And that's why I want to actually share this content, because I know what it was like. And again, it can get real exhausting clicking through multiple YouTube thumbnails and clicking through all these articles and trying to ask everyone for their advice and sifting through LinkedIn and all these other platforms that are telling you to do this and then telling you to do that. There's so much contradictory information out there that I wanted to make this video on the platforms that have worked for me. None of them are going to make you rich. None of them are going to get you like some huge quick scheme, but they are going to bring you some sort of income to at least stabilize something in the meantime if you need something quick and something to an extent of some substantial income. So I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to dive into some of the 5 platforms that have worked for me, that have helped me support me into me building my business and securing $13,000 within my first 6 months of my business, and going from there and strategizing. So one of the first platforms that I actually want to share with you is, I want to share with you the first platform that helped me build my business was Wix. Wix, I ended up taking a platform design that they had from their website, and I ended up using one of their templates that they had. And this took out a lot of the time and a lot of the kind of the guesswork that you have to do to build a website. And normally you would need to know all this code and all these kind of behind the scenes things. And I knew a little bit of the basics, but I didn't have the time, the bandwidth. I was mostly stressed and trying to make sure that I had a way to make ends meet. So I didn't have time for that. So I ended up doing some research on Wix, GoDaddy, and few other platforms that have website builders. And I ultimately ended up choosing Wix based on the research that I was able to gather and based on my specific needs for my business. So whatever platform you end up using, make sure you do some serious research. They all have pros and cons. Wix has some pros and cons, and some other platforms are much better. Some other platforms are much worse. But I chose Wix specifically because it met the needs that I specifically was looking for my business. And here is the website that I ended up designing and kind of putting together for my own site, for my company, Elephant Stories Consulting. And I ended up crafting a lot of the language and building a lot of different of these sections out by using Wix and using some of their kind of pre-built templates, and then adding in the information that I thought was beneficial for me and for my business specifically. Now, not only did I use Wix to put up the site, so this is more so for people, if you say you worked in project management or program management, or you worked in something that you can offer a service out, building a website is a very easy way to draw traffic to you without you having to do a bunch of marketing. Now, it does cost a little bit of money up front. You are going to have to pay for advertising using Google AdSense, using some of these other platforms in order to promote some of your content. And Wix has some other options built into their platform that allow you to do marketing or do email campaigns or things of that nature. But this will take a little bit of pre-investment. So, and I don't mean, and again, I'm not telling you to have a pre-investment of like $5,000. It's nothing like that. And maybe $200, $300 at most. If you want to pay for a few minor promotions, do an email campaign. This platform literally helps you build out everything that you need to do. They have all sorts of tools. You can add different elements to your website. You can add in images. You can add in buttons and sites where they can go and click and they can go find your calendar and they can find all that information. So there are so many things that you can hand tailor made and that you can add here personally that can make your website unique and specific to you, even if you are using one of their templates or other designs. One of the other platforms that I used as well to support this work was ChatGPT. ChatGPT actually helped support me quite a bit in this journey and in building out my website, because building out a website is quite a bit of work. You have to put together a lot of language and text and things together that, again, can be overwhelming when you're trying to build the business and when you're trying to build a platform that works for you. So here's where I introduced ChatGPT. I have ChatGPT 3.5. I also have ChatGPT 4, or I did. And I don't know if it was really worth the extra $20 a month. The only thing it allows you to do a little bit better is put in longer text, and it does a few little bit extra features, but I don't know if it was actually worth it for me. I did it for a few months, and it really wasn't that big of a difference. So what I've done is I put in a preemptive template and a prompt into ChatGPT in order to give you an example of how I use it in order to build my own business. So what I did was, for my own personal business, I had already put together a sheet and put together a bunch of bullet points on what I wanted my business to be. I wanted to be a project management business. I wanted to be consulting, and I wanted to focus on this, and I wanted to focus specifically on that. And I put together very specific, detailed bullet points on a separate document in Google Sheets. And I took that information and I put it together, and I created a prompt from those information, and I put it into ChatGPT, and it produced several of intro section. It proves all of the sections from my website, and all I had to do was go in, adjust the language, and make the language my own. But it gave me at least a head start. I personally, I didn't want to use the language of the website that ChatGPT provided. It felt very, sometimes kind of generic. But you can give ChatGPT very specific prompts, like use a warm, friendly tone, or use previous text that I've submitted that you've submitted into ChatGPT. You can use that to say, please use previous submitted text that I've inputted, and use that as the writing style or the writing tone, so it sounds a little bit more humanistic, or it sounds and reflects a little bit more of who you are personally. So what I've done was I've created a mock example of a YouTube channel and account, and of it to help curate a business. So what I did was I put a prompt in there that says, create a YouTube channel focused on mental health, emotional wellness, and physical health for men 50 and up. Use a holistic approach. Use the following criteria to form the channel. Now, I made this a little bit more specific. Now, I could obviously just put it here and say, create me a YouTube channel that is focused on mental health. That's very generic and very broad. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to you building and scaling a business, you want to be as specific as possible. And the more niche you can be, meaning the more specific market, like, again, focused on mental health, emotional wellness, and physical health for men 50 and up. That's very specific. It's talking about men who have specific health issues when they enter into that age category, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's screenings that they need to take care of, whether it's other things that are specifically happening for people who, once they hit a certain age and up, that's a very specific niche, and it's dealing with a very specific market. The more specific you are and the more specific you are about your niche, the more likelihood and chance you have of expanding, getting an audience, building income, and being able to expand your brand further. I also put in a few prompts, a few bullet points. For example, like, please provide some name examples, a page intro brief, some key hashtags that we use, include a 3-month scale strategy. And I also included a mission and a vision. And I think this is very important whenever you're trying to scale out a business. ChatGPT will spit out a business for you. It will spit out all the information. But if you want to make it really specific and have it be something that you actually care about, I would highly suggest that. Being somebody, again, who was laid off and who was desperate for money at some times, there were a lot of things that I did to try to secure or make income, but there was no passion and no energy behind it. So it would last for a few weeks, but then it completely fizzle out and make me feel more burnt out than I did even before I even started it. So I just want to offer that as a as a precursor, I kind of almost as a warning to you that again, yes, the goal is for you to make income to pay your bills, but I will say that all money is not good money. At least in my own personal experience. Now, to some people it may not matter, and to you it may not matter, but for me personally, it did. I had to do something that still related personally to something I personally cared about, and felt like I was contributing to the world at a bigger, level. So this is one of the platforms that I use. So again, you want to be very specific. Use a mission, use a vision statement, and make it very specific to what you need for you. So I'm going to hit enter on this and send this over and see what it pumps out to give you an example of how to use ChatGPT. Again, make it very specific to you, and let's see what it comes up with. So usually we'll put out a prompt in literally a matter of 30 seconds to a minute. Depending on the prompt or your internet speed, it may take a few minutes longer, but for the most part, it will prompt out everything that you need and everything that you've requested it. So if we look at it here, we have, again, some few name examples: Wise Wellman, Silver Sage Health Club. I'm not sure I'm a fan of any of the names, but again, it gives you examples and at least gives you a starting point to kind of go from. Gives you a page intro brief that you all can kind of read there and take some time out to kind of go through. I'm not going to go through each part. Again, this is just more so to give you an example of what it looks like and what it can do for you in order to support your journey in building a business quicker and making it more efficient and streamlining it. And ChatGPT has been one of the major tools. Again, it has produced out a whole month of foundation awareness, launched an introductory video. And again, the more detailed prompt that you give it. So if I was to say again, this is great. Say if I was to say, please make this more detailed. Use a warm, friendly tone. And if I hit enter and add that in, we'll see how it will come out and provide a little bit more detail. It'll be a little bit more in depth. And again, you can continue doing this. You continue entering different prompts until they give you specifically what you want and what you're looking for. And you can go back and adjust it on your own. Okay. So again, as we see, it spit it out a little bit more specific information. It's given a little bit more detail. Launched with heartwarming video introducing the channel. It's changed the tone of the writing style. Now, again, obviously this is front facing solely just for me. But if you were having ChatGPT generate something that would be front facing for a client, you can tell it the type of stone and the type of tone, and writing style that you want it to include, and it can go ahead and set up that tone. So ChatGPT and Wix have been a huge important process of making my business successful, whether it's been the marketing tools that Wix offers, whether it's been some of the other features that it also offers, whether it's the template designs and all of the easy functions that you can easily just input into your site. Wix and ChatGPT have been instrumental in me building a successful business that has worked specifically for me. So, second one I'm going to share with you is another platform that has worked really good for me and that has really helped me kind of build and kind of expand my brand. And another platform that helped me to secure some income was using Remote Task. Remote Task specifically is a data annotation website where you are literally training chatbots and on their language. So it's essentially a language learning model. And just like ChatGPT or Bard by Google or some of these other platforms, Remote Task is simply taking one of these platforms that an organization or a company is working for. I can't share the company that I'm specifically working for right now on Remote Task, but I was able to get on a project and start working and training a chatbot on how to actually respond to prompts. So just like you just saw in the ChatGPT video, an example that I just gave before, those prompts, that the responses that it give have to be fed by an actual human being in order to train the AI on how to respond. So it's not exciting work. It's very tedious. It can be be quite boring, actually, if I'm being honest, and very specific to very tailored projects. But it has been a way that I've been able to secure income and use as a platform to actually make extra income. Obviously, when you go on these websites, I'm going to tell you you can make $1,000, you can make $100 million. They'll tell you all these very big numbers that they're telling you what you can make. But the real reality is, again, most of the projects are paying like 20, 30, some are $40 and $50 an hour. The one I'm currently on is paying around $25 an hour. And I'm working on, again, training in AI. So what it all is simply is doing, if you have any experience in marketing, you don't even need experience in marketing, but as long as you know how to write, you went to college and you have a college background being able to write and being able to, again, answer basic prompts and questions and kind of respond to that type of thing, then this is very, very easy. You can sign up for it. It takes a few weeks for them to kind of get back to you. So that was a little stressful. So if you are looking to do this pretty soon, sign up as early as possible. The trainings take a little bit of time. They do take a few hours, but once you get put on a project, they will pay you for any training that you do complete during your time, and then from there they will assign you to a project, and then you will be able to assign to a project. You can work this like a regular job. You work a few hours a week. You can work 20 hours, 30 hours, however many you want to work based on the project and how large the project is. Now, it varies depending on which project you're placed on, but that I have personally made income from remote tasks. I will only be sharing platforms today that I've actually made income from and that have actually worked for me. No platforms that is just trying to get you here to view my channel or to view. Again, I know obviously we all want to build a following, we all want to expand our brand, but I only want to share things that actually worked for me. So Remote Task has been a great platform to actually help make me make some sort of actually substantial income. And Remote Task is number 2 on my list because it has helped make me to make the most. It's been flexible and it's been a really good platform. So go through the website, go check it out if you get a chance, and it can really support you in your journey as far as making income. One of the number 3 on my list is a platform that has been actually pretty amazing that I had never even heard of. But again, me doing a lot of research and kind of Googling online, this platform kind of popped up on my brain, and it is called SuperProf. SuperProf is a platform to where you can offer different services and different things that you can tutor or teach people on. And you can offer your services for free, or you can offer your services for a paid price. And SuperProf actually does not take anything off the top. They don't charge you commission. They don't charge you a certain percentage. You don't have to make the payment through them. You can set up something completely separate and unique with your student that you end up curating. And here at the top are just a few examples of things that you can offer and services that you can offer. So if you have mathematics, Spanish, piano, singing, ESL, guitar, driving, any of these things, any service that you can pretty much think of that you can offer as a way to help somebody else, this has been an amazing platform. I posted my profile up here because I teach piano lessons and I'm also a vocalist. So I also, because I went to school for music and piano, so I also know how to do those services. So I began to offer those services. And I created a basic profile, just offered $30 an hour, something very simple and basic. And I'm getting 2 students within my first week. So this platform has also been another platform that has been very easily with being able to curate students. As long as you can get the students to actually leave a review on your work and on your services and everything else, it will change your status from new to intermediate to beginner, and it will start changing your status. The more reviews you get, the more people that you get to engage with your content. So this has been another platform that has helped bring in income more quicker than some of the other platforms. So if you have not heard of SuperProf, I highly suggest go make a profile, whatever services you can offer, have ChatGPT help you create the prompts and fill out the information that needed to make it client facing and front facing for the client so they can choose your services. But this platform has been amazing in supporting my journey as far as being laid off and bringing in some sort of income. So that is number 3 on my list. Number 4, I would say, this was probably my least favorite, but it was definitely a very common and well-known one that we all have heard of, and that is the Uber Eats, DoorDash, those sort of delivery services. I did do DoorDash, and I use this platform for driving and delivering food and doing things like that. This platform was pretty easy. All you need to do is sign up to be a DoorDash driver. Once you input your information, they will send you a DoorDash card that you will use to pay for certain meals that aren't covered, that have not been pre-covered. And once you get that card, you can start DoorDashing. Now, it did take about 2 weeks for the card to arrive in the mail for me whenever I applied for that. And then once I got the card, I was able to log on to the app and start kind of seeing which areas I can start DoorDashing in. I live in the greater Los Angeles area, and not in Long Beach specifically. So the areas that I was looking in, there is obviously an area this large, the metro area this large, you have a lot of people DoorDashing. So I would say this is really quite dependent on what area you're in, how saturated it is with other DoorDash drivers, or whether it's Uber or any of those platforms. I personally didn't try Uber the other platforms because I am an introvert and I do not like random people in my car. So I didn't use those. I just did DoorDash where I can go in, drop the food off, and go about my business, and not really have to engage with people because that personally works better for me. But if you are somebody who doesn't mind, dealing with people and engaging with people at a higher level, then Uber, Lyft, some of these other platforms may be a good option for you. But for me personally, DoorDash was a good option. Now, I will say, as far as income, I DoorDashed, I think about 3 weeks ago, and I went Door Dashing on a Friday night. So I figured it was a busy night. They had a few sections where they'll offer a surplus, $1 or $2 extra if you go to specific areas that need a DoorDash driver, that they're short on drivers and they need something. I did that. I went to some specific areas that offered $1, $2 more. And upon arriving, they give you the option to DoorDash on your way to these platforms, to these places. After door dashing for about 3 hours, I ultimately ended up making around, I believe it was like $17. And if you know anything about the cost of gas here in California and SoCal specifically, and the amount of time that I spent as far as getting a few different, gigs to drop the food off, I personally did not find that the income was worth the amount of time and energy and the wear and tear on my car and the cost for the several of the times that I did go door dashing. You do make income, so if you do need something immediate and just something coming in, then this is a good way and a good platform to use. But if you actually count up the cost, if you're not careful and if you're not using it on days when it's actually really needed and really busy, it can end up costing you more money than it actually is bringing in. So this is a good platform. Again, if you need something quick and easy, if you're in an area that's not as saturated, if you're out in the more rural areas, or if you're out in areas, again, where there's less of a market for these type of platforms, then I think it would be great to make extra income. If you have a car that's in great shape and you have the time and the ability, you can do this whenever you want. You can do it in the middle of the night. You can do it whenever it's convenient for you in order to generate and secure extra income. So DoorDash is number 4 on my list because it was not that profitable. And again, I don't know if I'm personally going to use it anymore, but it is a good alternative if you need some quick income and some quick cash to make. It's not a lot, but it is something. So this leads me to my last and final platform that I ended up using that did help me in my journey, and that is Inteleshop. Inteleshop was a platform, or is a platform actually, to where basically they pay you to go to different organizations, different stores, different restaurants, different brands to talk about your experience and to talk about what you experience with these places. Whether it's going to a gas station at 12 o'clock at night just to see if they're open, to see if they're following the company hours and the protocol. They offer gigs like that. So I signed up for Inteleshop. It was very easy to sign up. If you head over here, right here to the right, and you jump over to the Shopper Hub, it's going to lead you down to this section here where you can input your information and you can submit this and they can send you back some information. But what I did was just become a shopper. They have other options where they've sent me out on different requests where you can go to view different brands, or you can go purchase things at certain stores and they reimburse you for the purchases that you make. So you get to keep the items and you also get reimbursed. So this was another good platform that did allow me to actually make some sort of income immediately up front as soon as they started offering. Now, again, with this platform, you do have to wait a little bit until they have different gigs they can offer for you. But once they do offer you, there are different options, varying things that you can do. The money is not profound, but it is some sort of income. And again, even the things that you have to go to a store and buy something or purchase something, you can take that, get reimbursed for it, and you can sell it on eBay and make more money. So there were several different options that you can do, but these 5 options, from ChatGPT to Wix, from remote tasks to IntelliShop to SuperProf to DoorDash, have been the options that have helped secure and helped keep me to at least bring in some sort of relative income during this season and during this time. So hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully this information helped you kind of see what your options are and what are some of the things that you can actually do. But these are the things that actually worked for me. Again, none of them made me a millionaire. None of them brought me in some major income, but they did bring in income to at least help me shore up some loose ends, some parts where I just needed a little bit of extra help and something to kind of push me a little bit over. So if you need some extra support and some extra help, and you're looking for platforms that you can sign up for and that don't take super long to get you going, here's some ways you can do it. Going the route with Wix and building it through ChatGPT is going to take a little bit more time, effort. You're going to have to research, find some more information, figure out what your niches are, actually know what you want to offer, what you actually want to help people with. So it's going to take a little bit more work, but I will say that it was actually worth the work, because once I was able to get the SEO correct, and when I was able to get the keywords and the hashtags and use all the right research And also do research on other people who are already offering the same services you're doing. Go check out their websites, go see what they're doing and what makes their brand successful and makes their platform something that actually seems to be really helping people, and borrow from that. Use those same things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel completely. Find things that actually work specifically for you and see people who are already doing it better than you, and use some of those same models to figure out how to make it work uniquely and tailor it specifically for what you're trying to do. So anyway, I'm not in order to keep this video from getting too long. I just want to make sure I share this information. I want to share it in depth with how it's helped me. I don't want to, again, just do some clickbait video that's showing you, oh, you can do this and make. Again, we all want to build a platform. We all want to get followers, but that's not my goal. It's not my sole goal. Let me be honest. Part of all of our goals to get more information out there and help people. My goal ultimately is to help people. And over this past year of being laid off, and again, I don't claim being laid off anymore. I'm an entrepreneur now and I've started my own business and successfully have now secured income through my own business monthly. And like I said, made $13,000 just within my first 6 months. These are the tools that have actually helped me. It was not easy. It was very difficult and it took a lot of time and energy, but it was absolutely worth it. And if you have the ability to build a website and you can use tools like ChatGPT and Bard and these other AI platforms, there's so much out there that can support you on your journey to help you make income. You do not need to be dependent on these companies, on these 9-to-5 organizations. There are ways to make income. Is it easy? No. Does it take time? Absolutely. Will it take time for even some of these platforms that I listen today to actually start generating some income? Absolutely. But if you have the ability, the time, the gifts, the talent, and just a basic amount of common sense, you can do any last one of these platforms. So anyway, I'll be releasing more content and more things that have helped and worked for me over this past year on whether it's been building my business, whether it's been expanding my brand, whether it's been working with different people, whether it's been on marketing and trying to get more people drawn to me. I will share more of those things and help you on your own journey if you find yourself suddenly being laid off or find yourself suddenly being in a journey to where you have to kind of figure it out on your own. It feels like it's impossible, but I promise you it's not. So thank you for being here. I'm grateful. I hope this content is super helpful for you. Feel free to subscribe, drop a like, whatever you feel led to do. But I'm grateful for you to be here, and I hope this content helps somebody. So thank you so much, and until next time.